Well, g'day folks, Phil here from The Jaded Filmmaker, and today we're looking at this neat little lithium powered generator, or power inverter.
Will you? I want them cleaned up for dinner.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Now this is obviously the Aussie version, as it has the 240 volts AC out, but there'll be something similar based wherever you are, and it'll probably also have the same kind of cheesy name I noticed online. This is called Powertech, but I saw one called, what was it? Power Charge, or Charge Tech. See, apparently you just jam two words together that's relevant to your company name, and that is peak creativity for practically minded people. So this will be quite a handy unit for me when I'm on set, and basically because you don't have to worry about adapter cables, you just use the native plug for pretty much everything from lights to something even more important like a beer fridge. I'll tell you more about it later, but I'll tell you quickly first why I needed to get this. Oop, you just got a light, see? If you touch that button you get a light. I'll tell you quickly first why I needed this. So I was hired to do some live streaming for weddings in remote locations, which is something that I actually hadn't done before, so I needed to gear up. So I got my Camlink 4K HDMI cable straight through to the A7S III. Then of course you need sound, so I had my Rode Wireless Go, had a couple of those go straight through to camera, so perfect for sound, straight through to the live stream. And then lastly, in remote areas I needed my proper Telstra, which is the fastest thing you can get here in Australia, internet connection. And I thought that'd be just about it, ready to rock and roll. But luckily, I went to the park and did a test. I only got 40 minutes battery life on my MacBook Pro 2014, latest edition. And that kind of sucks, right? So then the wedding was coming up that weekend, so I needed a power solution immediately. And a few depressing Google searches later to find out that my MacBook is indeed old and I can't use the fancy USB charging. I needed to find another power solution. There was one guy selling something down in Victoria. It was a power bank through to a MagSafe connector, but Victoria was pretty much stuffed thanks to the virus, and that would take 3 weeks to get here. So I found that I would have to just probably settle for a friggin' generator and be the guy at the wedding with a generator. But luckily, I found this really small little unit. And I'm like, well, that isn't so bad. And I'll show you a shot of the wedding I did with it just recently. It's pretty fancy. You get to stream a wedding on the new A7S III. It would look even more fancy if I had a M1 MacBook Pro or just even a MacBook Air or something down there. But hey, actually, you know what? While I'm there, I will say, if it was my wedding or it was my clients, I would just say use an iPhone. Do it on an iPhone. You already have the internet, the camera is excellent, and then all you need then is a patch cable for this guy and you're good to go. And the battery lasts longer. And I don't know if it's user error or just me, but I think the Zoom meetings are maxed out at 1080 anyway, so it's a little bit of overkill. But anyway, was hired to do a job. So where am I? So let's go through all the specs quickly, the boring specs. 42,000 milliamp hours. So in real world terms, that just meant that my power hungry setup with its HDMI was able to go for 4 hours. So if you reverse engineer the math, that means my laptop was pulling 10 amps of draw. What else have I got here? 3 other outputs for USB at 2 amps each. 3 DC out 12 volts. Power it through here takes about 6 or 8 hours, I think. Takes a long time anyways, I didn't actually time it, but charge it overnight. And lastly, it has a cool little camping light. And that's pretty much it. The fan is quite quiet. There's a battery indicator there, yada yada. And it won't work unless you press AC output. Then these will become available. Well, that will become available. Is that it? Is that it? I can't think of anything else. I'll put it in the comments if I do think of something. So we'll move on to the mailbag. What I'm gonna do is add a little section to the end of these vids, and if you have any questions, I'll add it to the next video. So today we have Today we have a question from Thomas Roskowski, and he asks, can I make a comparison between active stabe on and off with the Samyang 18mm 2.8? Let's give that a bash, shall we? Okay, this is the exact combination we were just filming on actually, the A7S III and the Samyang 18mm 2.8. And this is on the standard stabilization. So if I go around in a bit of a circle, or do a bit of a walk actually, it's not bad, is it? But then again, this lens is quite wide and very forgiving. So that's shooting back towards me. And now, if we employ Baby Yoda here, what's it look like if we try to stay as stable as possible using the eye? The viewfinder, I mean. Like, nothing's more stable than your actual head, I think. So what do you reckon? What does Yoda reckon? That's standard. And this is active stabe on the same setting, the Samyang 18mm 2.8. So it's cropped in a little bit, 1.1, and it's still not that bad, because it's such a wide lens. And I'm once again just using the little base of the Zhiyun Crane 2 little tripod. So let's walk in and a bit of a circle. What do you reckon? Quite stable. And as long as you aren't walking too aggressively, you won't get the warpy shit in the corners. So these stabilization settings are good for just smooth movements, I think. So that's pointing at me. And once again, little Baby Yoda. What do you reckon? That's quite stable, hey? Yoda approves. Well, that'll just about do it for today then. Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to see more of this kind of stuff, then like and subscribe, I guess. I'll do the subscribe begging like everyone else, why not? And if you'd like me to do any kind of test, I'll do anything, then leave a comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, see ya, bye.